What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Season 6, Episode 16. I guess it ain't over yet. Okay. Well, all right. We start this episode off with Miss Yo-Yo having lunch with, having a barbecue, I guess I should say, with, she invited Brittany and she invited Apple over, and they're actually listening to the music that they did in the studio together. Now, come to find out, Brittany showed up and did the song, but little Miss Apple did not show up. She talking about something, she was spending some money or had to do some money or shopping or something. And Yo-Yo was like, I just don't know if Apple is taking this seriously. Like, if you are really hungry and this is what you really want to do, and you get an opportunity to be on anybody's record, I don't care if it's Yo-Yo, Ho-Ho, Whoa-Whoa, you show up. And especially somebody like a Yo-Yo who's helped you out, who's been there for you, who's been really trying to help you, guide you in the right places, And then her reason for not showing up was just because you were spending money. She said, when I get money in my hand, it just burns a hole in my pocket. So that led me to think you weren't there because you were shopping. Anyway. Also, Yo-Yo's daughter is getting ready to go into labor. She's overdue, so they're a little bit nervous. I'm just going to knock this part out. We see, Yo-Yo show up at the hospital, and, Yo-Yo says she was over, that she was, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? That she was overdue as well. But she said she had the whole, crew down at the hospital with her. She said Snoop was there, Daz, all these other people were down at the, hospital hanging out, and it was a fun time. It was a good time. Now, the one thing they have not done is mentioned the father. So I'm just going to assume that the father is not in the picture, which is a sad thing. She was there by herself and had to give birth by herself. But it is what it is. But she had the baby, is a healthy baby boy, I believe, and he's a cutie. He's got Yo-Yo's eyes. He's got those light eyes. And so he was a cutie. So anyway, and he might not have Yo-Yo's eyes. Like I said, we ain't seen the daddy. They might be the daddy's eyes. I don't know, but he's got those light eyes. So Zell is having his fashion show / music release event. And this is what I'm going to say. Because you know what? Zell, if this were the Zell from 2 seasons ago, honey, I would light him up. But I'm actually kind of starting to like Zell a little bit more than I did. I can respect what he's doing. I can respect that he created this clothing line. He did this EP, and it was all with his own money. I can respect all of that. Now, the clothing line, now, as someone I am nobody's fashionista by any stretch of the imagination, but I do watch Project Runway. Now, the only criticism I'm going to have about his collection is that it was, you tried too hard to make it cohesive. All of the pieces look the same from what they showed us. They all, I know, and I'm sure that that's his signature, that he's got the sparkly flower thingy on there. I'm sure that that's his signature, but it was too much. He had the socks, he had the shirt, he had the pants. But the style of what he had is definitely what people are wearing now. It's definitely what's out there. So you know what? I wish you luck, Zell. Do you, boo? And then later on in the night when they played the music, I actually kind of liked that song they played. It actually was pretty decent. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get the whole EP, but I might download that track. It was actually pretty decent, y'all. Now, Mr. Ray is there, and Mr. Ray is there with Katrina, the ex-girlfriend of Mickey Monday, the one that's just real extra, and she was being extra at the event. Mr. Ray was trying to do an interview and do the whole runway, do the whole red carpet thing. Zell had a whole some paparazzi and stuff there and everything, and she's pulling him, come on, we trying to get to the bar, let's go, and I'm thinking to myself, y'all are at an industry event, and you know how that is. You know what that gives. You got to talk to the press. You got to play the game. You got to do all of that. Like, stop acting brand new. Stop acting like you don't know that this is how this goes. And I was really feeling some kind of way because I was like, you being extra already. So then, while Zell is doing his thank yous after they go through the runway and everything, I guess somebody bumped her or touched her. So she's making a scene. Don't put your fucking hands on me. Don't fucking touch me. Blah, 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 blah. And so Zell was like, What's going on? Do we have a problem over here? No, I'm sorry. You can go back to what you were doing. He was just putting his hands on me, and I didn't appreciate it. So then A1 makes a comment to Lyrica because they're standing next to her, and of course they showed up together. We'll get back to A1 and Lyrica, honey. A1 made like a little comment and she overheard it. So then she started trying to cuss out A1. So of course now A1 and Lyrica are like, yo, you doing too much. Chill. You need to chill out. So Zell comes back over there again and is like, do we have a problem? Like, what is the issue? So she gets mad and she leaves because she like, I ain't gonna be disrespected, blah, blah, blah. So then Mr. Ray follows behind her. He talks her into coming back in. And he starts making these little smart comments about A1 and Lyrica. And he was like, look, I like A1 and Lyrica. I'm cool with them, but can't nobody keep up with whether they together or not together. Like, it just depends on whichever way the wind blow. Now, I don't know what that had to do with her and A1 getting into the little scuffle about the friend or whatever, but neither here nor there. So they end up coming back in, and later on, they're kind of, I guess, after the show is pretty much over, it looks like it's just them there, and they're sort of having like a little conversation, and her and Zell's girlfriend get into it, and they start to arguing, and so of course they end up putting her out, and so Mr. Ray walks her out so she can get her Uber, and then he comes back in. Well, while he's out getting her the Uber, Zell is on the inside talking shit, and Zell repeated that that Mr. Ray made some comments about Ocean and whether A1 is even Ocean's daddy. So of course, the minute Mr. Ray came back in there, they confronted Mr. Ray, and Zell wants to not Zell. A1 gonna slap Mr. Ray. So of course Mr. Ray did what he did in New York. He kind of laid there and was looking like his feelings were hurt or whatever. And they got to arguing and they ended up putting Mr. Ray out. Now Zell's girlfriend ended up going at A1, basically saying that that was a bitch move. You ain't have to sucker punch him like that. And why would you go after him? He's gay. Da 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 da. And I'm thinking to myself, what him being gay got to do with anything? And basically what she was saying was, a straight man shouldn't hit a gay man. I have never heard that before. I have never heard that argument before. I have never heard that way of thinking. My thing is, if a gay man talking shit, a gay man can get it. I don't understand what him being gay has to do with him not being able to get a punch in the face. Like, I don't see that connection. Y'all might have to explain that to me in the comments, because I just don't. That is lost on me altogether. So then, So then they end up getting into it. Lyrica and Zell's girlfriend end up getting into it, and they have to calm that whole thing down, honey. Mickey Monday is filming his video. I'm not going to drag this out, because everything with Lil Fizz just irritates me. Lil Fizz is down there, and basically, he said it's time for him to get back to his solo career. I didn't know he had a solo career. He said he put it on the back burner to do the B2K tour. I didn't know it was anything to put on the back burner. Well, okay. He says that he's executive producing a movie. He's working on a soundtrack. And he offers Mickey Monday a song on the soundtrack. Then they get to talking about the B2K tour, how they have an opportunity to take it overseas, but Omarion ain't really with it, and whatever. So down to the gym, we have Paris, we have Zell, and then we have J Boog. And basically, J Boog is letting them know that he's pissed off about the situation with them not going overseas, because he feels like Omarion's hesitation to do the tour overseas is directly connected back to Lil Fizz in April. And he's upset about what everybody else is upset about. He was like, look, at the end of the day, we was friends. I was your bandmate. You lied to me. And your lies putting basically my money in jeopardy, putting our money in jeopardy for us to not be able to, make more money and get this bag or whatever. And he was like, I'm going to go talk to Lil Fizz about it. So he ends up confronting Fizz, and you can tell that there's tension between the two of them, and you can tell that there's an issue, and he basically tells, he's asking questions, and Fizz is like giving him half answers and stuff, because Fizz is like, he's not coming to me out of a genuine concern or a genuine, he genuinely cares about what's going on between me and April. He coming to me because he's asking me questions about what I'm doing, connected back to the to B2K and the money. And he was like, it seems like this the money is more important than our friendship. And then on Jay Boog's side of it, Jay Boog was like, I hope this works out with them, because basically he chose a woman over the group. And at this point in time, like, I was the only friend Fizz really had left in the group. Like, nobody else talked to Fizz. And Fizz said the same thing. He said he was his only friend left in the group. And so that, at this point, he just doesn't know where that's going to leave them. And that's just kind of, where that was. Then Mr. Ray talks to Apple and tell Apple what happened and Brittany what happened. And Brittany was like, I told you that Zell was an animal. And Mr. Ray was like, well, this really wasn't Zell. Even though Zell did start it. Because Zell was the one that told A1 what you said to begin with. But whatever. Zell just didn't actually hit nobody this time, which we're thankful for that. And Apple says, look, I'm cool with them. You're cool with them. Would you be cool? Would you be willing for me to set something up for y'all so y'all can talk it out? And he was like, well, I don't know. We'll see. And then he starts talking about how he feels like A1's energy is directed in the wrong place, because, A1 is really mad at Lyrica and taking it out on him, because he's saying how he know for a fact that Lyrica's messing with another dude. He was like, look, I ain't Hollywood Unlocked, so I ain't going to be dropping no receipts, dropping names and faces. But at the end of the day, she's seeing somebody else right now, and that's where his focus need to be, instead of him worrying about me and worrying about what I'm doing over here. So he said, and all I was doing was repeating what the streets was saying, like the streets was saying. And remember, they did do the DNA test, so it don't act like it was crazy, because I did a DNA test, because you ain't know who the daddy was. So, well, you knew. He didn't know if he was or not, but whatever. So then we see they do end up meeting up, and the first thing Mr. Ray does is throw a drink on A1. A1 was like, all right, I kind of had that one coming. It is what it is. But they talked it out. They cleared the air. And then Mr. Ray told A1 about the situation with Lyrica having another friend. And A1 was like, you know what? I done put Lyrica through so much, I can't even be mad at her. Like, I can't judge her. I can't be mad at her. I done put her through a lot of shit. So if she messing with somebody, if she seeing somebody, he said, all I ask is that you be a friend and that you be there when I need you. But, let me and Lyrica deal with what we got to deal with. And Mr. Ray was like, respect. Okay, no problem. We finally see Brittany and her mom. Brittany goes down to the church, and her mom have a conversation. And, they work things out. Look, I'm over it. You can tell I'm over it. They work things out. She talks about her addiction, and they say, well, maybe we can go visit Ray Ray and Pookie and them down to the jail, because I always get, anxious when I don't hear from Pookie, who, doing a 15-year bid, and maybe you can help me out, and we can, we can work on our relationship together, through visiting, Pookie down to the jail and putting money on his books. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it, y'all. Let me make sure. I don't want to hit the stop button and then it was something I forgot to say, but I think that is pretty much it. Are we at the end yet? Is the season over yet? Are they talking about reunion? I know that Love and Hip Hop New York starts next month, so we gotta be winding down. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.